Hey friends, it's Sonia with Jug Monkey Paint Company, and today we are going to finally finish off a flip that we started I just want to bring to completion today, this evening, and get it done. You might remember this table that we found together when we were thrifting. At this point, it has been painted with our black velvet, which we did that together. And no, I did not have to sand or strip or prime this piece. I just grabbed the brush and went bananas. And now let's put on some final touches. I'm excited about this part. I think that this decor transfer that I have will fit this piece just perfectly. We have teamed up with our friends over at Redesign with Prima, and yeah, we have a whole selection of gorgeous furniture transfers currently available on the website. We have so many new ones incoming, so you're going to want to stay tuned for sure, because there will be so many designs for you guys to be able to play with. The one that I have selected, which is currently available on our website at the time of the filming of this, is Music and the Butterflies. I love this design, and I'm going to show you how I apply it. Inside, I've already taken out the piece. Inside, this is what it looks like. I'll show you. We're gonna do this together here, but I'm thinking that I love the design, and I also love the fact that the actual transfer is white in color on here, and because this is a dark color, I think this is gonna show up so nice. All right, so let me get in position, get all the tools I need, and we are going to apply this decor transfer on this piece. It's gonna be good. So inside my tube, I have one part. I have two parts and three parts, just like this. So honestly, if I had a dresser with 3 drawers, this could definitely work, and to put on each of the drawers is so fun. You're going to be able to see this come together in just a second, but it actually shows you right here that this particular transfer comes in 3 pieces. It says package includes 1 transfer, so 1 total design, but it's cut up in 3 separate parts for versatile use, so which is really nice. But the total area is 24 by 30. So you just need to know that, you know, every piece of furniture is different. So find a piece of furniture that will work for this size when you put it on, that, you know, it's going to fill it out the way you want it to. So yeah, so this tabletop here, I feel like I just eyeballed it up, but I definitely know that it's going to be fine lengthwise, I should say, lengthwise. So I might need to add a little bit of the other one on the top of here and join it in, and which we can do that as well. But this is going to work. This is going to be a great size for the size tabletop that I'm working with. I'm also going to go ahead and grab my transfer tool. These designs are pressure sensitive, so you would use this tool to apply pressure. We're going to do it in just a second to be able to lay it down. You're going to want to make sure that your paint is entirely dry before you do this process. This has been painted for quite some time now, so I know I'm good on that, but definitely make sure that your surface is dry, free of debris. If you've sanded it at all, just make sure that you get all that sand dust off, because you want to make sure that your transfer sticks to your actual surface and not to some dirt or dust or something that eventually causes it to lift up because it did not get to securely anchor itself to your piece. So just make sure your surface is ready to go. So definitely a tip to share would be that when your transfer comes to you and it's broken up into pieces, I lay them out so I can see the entire design. So if I go back over here, and let's see here, this is my entire design right here. I lay out my pieces. So they come in 2 parts. This right here will be the part with the design on it. And then on the back, there's also the release paper. So you're definitely going to want to keep your design on that release paper. I'll show you in a second what I do, but you don't want to mess up your design. So be very careful with that part. But I didn't want this to be out of order. Now, obviously, you can cut these transfers up and you could use only a small part of them. Maybe you just wanted a butterfly. You know, some of the designs, if you go into our website, you'll see there's flowers that you could just cut out randomly and use on whatever section you want. So if I just, for example, I painted this over here, this table, if I wanted to apply some flowers around the base of it, then I would cut out those flowers and add that there to my little table that I painted. So I made sure that they're laid out because this table is going to require this, and I'm going to decide if I'm going to cut a part of this to go with it and kind of like attach it to it to make it look like one big cohesive design on the top of my tabletop, or I could just use this part across. My table is wider than this, but this would just make it look like a runner kind of going across. But I like the idea of filling it out completely. So I'm probably going to have to cut a little bit into that one over there. But yeah, just make sure that your design is in order. So if you have a design that you pick, and if you put them on out of order, then your design might be messed up because it might not be continuous. And it might need to go on in a certain way because there could be words on it or something. So just pay attention to that part. A few things that you might want to have around you when you're doing this would be an X-Acto knife or a blade of some sort, a pair of scissors, ideally a little bit bigger. Anybody else like me just cannot find a pair of scissors around your house to save your soul if you needed it? I swear, I can never find scissors. I'm going to have to go buy like 10 pairs. Some painter's tape, obviously using something that releases so that when you have a situation where you want to tape your transfer in place as you're applying it, when you go to lift it off, it doesn't take your paint job with it. So, you know, look for some painter's tape, not duct tape, not scotch tape or anything like that. I have my full-size tool to use as part of this process. It's nice to invest in one of these because, yeah, you can cover a lot of area at one time. With each of the transfers in the roll, you get what looks like, yeah, just a little stick. Remember you used to eat ice creams? What were those ice creams called that had a little tiny ball at the very bottom of it? It would have a gum ball. And yeah, you'd eat off a little stick and you finally get to the little gum ball at the bottom. This kind of reminds me of this. So you do get one of these with each of the transfers, but this is a nice tool if you're going to be doing a lot of these, maybe for your custom furniture. Yeah, this is just a great tool to have. And I should also add that measuring tapes. Now I am blessed with measuring tapes today, so just pick one that you like. So before we apply these transfers, I mean, you can go all in and just start, but you might want to measure your surface and cut your transfer before you actually apply it, so that way it's more manageable. That's what I'm going to do. This piece is an old piece. It definitely is warped in places. It's got dents and dings. The veneer was really scratched up, damaged badly, but I don't care. I think it gives it character. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and when I put this transfer on top of it, it's really going to deflect from a lot of area that might have some imperfections, right? That definitely does have some imperfections because now your eye is going to be drawn to something else, a design on top of here. So a transfer is a great way to, yeah, just make a piece look beautiful, deflect from some of the issues that it might have, and just have an overall beauty about it. So my table is a little bit smaller than this. I could put this anywhere I really want it to. I could start over here at the edge and then cut it off over on this edge right here. Because what's going to happen is your design is on this top part right here. And this backing will come off, this protective backing. But first off, we've got to see where we want this to lay. So I want my words to come to the edge. I want it to go all the way over here. And then right here is where we're going to need to cut it. So I'm going to squish it with my fingers just a little bit right there. I can see my line, and I'm going to make a cut right here. And I'm also going to make a cut up right here. Now we can cut this up. Now this little edge over here, I can put this on something else, whatever I can come up with. Yeah, whatever I want to experiment with, something really small. I could apply this part on some knobs or something like that for a future project if I wanted to paint my knobs and add some of this. So I am going to save this. I am a remnant keeper. How about anybody else out there? So this piece is actually small enough to work with that if I really wanted to, I could peel the whole top off. It's going to be sticky on the back, and then I could lay it down and just kind of go at it that way. But that's because this piece is a smaller piece. You may want to stick it down with a little bit. Well, actually, let's stick it down anyhow, just so I can show you. So get this where you need it, on the edge. So it doesn't move as we do this. Honestly, if you have a design where you just cut out one small flower, just peel the backing off of it and lay it down. You know, just peel the backing off and stick your flower where you want to stick it. I could do it with this, like I said, because of the size of this table, but I wanted to share with you guys just how to do this. So now what we would do is we're going to pull this back right here. Ooh, do you see this pretty design that's on here? And we start going a little bit at a time. So the best thing to do at this point now is going to be just to kind of cut this off with my itty bitty scissors. If you have an extra set of helping hands, that's always nice too. If you have a friend who enjoys designing and wants to come over. Now, you don't want to, like, where this goes, this goes. So if this sticks to something that you're a tool, if this sticks to anything that you have, that's where it's going to be. So now we have it down, and we're going to go ahead. I like to push out because if there's any bubbles, we're pushing it towards the edges so it can escape. And I'm applying some pressure. These are definitely pressure sensitive. Go across it a couple different ways, make sure it's down, and then we can begin our look and make sure it went down. I'll give you guys a close-up view in just a second. Ooh, I like that. Exciting. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh yeah. So that side is down. I'm going to lift it up on the other side. Okay, perfect. So that side is down and secured. I lifted up the other side, and now I'm going to continue to lay it down. Don't move on me, whatever you do. Perfect. And now we got this down. Again, try to start pushing it over to the edge. Any pockets, any air pockets that want to get out. So let's see how she be. Ooh, all right, a little piece right there. So we drop that back down, and I can see it right here. It's funny, as you lay this down and you work with transfers, you can start to see like, oh yeah, I see you. They kind of turn a different color because they've released from the top sheet here. So yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. All right, so we got a little bit right here. So let's just drop that back down. Where did I see that? Oh yeah, right there. So let's hit that little part right there. There we go, it laid down. And now I'm gonna put you back on the tripod here. So I got two hands. We're gonna work our way across. I am so excited to see this butterfly. Pop, set the butterfly free. You can definitely move faster with two hands. And probably when you're not talking to a camera too, that helps. Put in your music and work through it. I think we got it. Ooh, that is so pretty. I love that. Love that. So if you can't paint, you want to design, you don't like decoupage wrinkles, you know, there's a place in this world for these beautiful furniture transfers. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. If you can't paint a butterfly, way to go. You can use somebody else's design. Second piece cut, you can measure it if you want to use your measuring tape. Me, I just eyeball it, so I know that I started with the design up to this edge right here, so that's going to be my marker. If you start it with this piece, cutting it from, or using this corner as the marker and cutting on this side, then make sure you do that for the second piece of your pattern that you add on. The most important thing right here, because this is, again, just such a broken, tattered design, is that I want my butterfly, obviously, to have the correct shape. So I want to make sure that that is definitely where it needs to be for my little butterfly, right there. And if I've done this correctly, yep, my word should start on this side. So there we go. So that is basically the butterfly shape right there. Now I'm going to do a bend across here, just so I can see it. Handy dandy scissors that always like to go missing. And now I'm going to cut across the back. You could tape your design down before you cut it. That might be something to think about doing. I'm just a let's just get it done kind of girl. So you know me. We're just going to get into it. Much like when I paint with stencils, I use my the power of the pressure from your wrist to hold it down. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, so this part will become, ooh, I'm looking at a stool down here. That could be the really cool top part of a stool. Stay tuned for that. Okay, now let's go ahead and do this one. This was what I was saying before. We kind of like, we did the whole thing of taping it down on this end for this section. But you know me, I'm also a risky kind of girl. So I'm okay with peeling the back off. If you have a small enough piece, it might be less cumbersome for you. And then that way we can actually see where the ears, do you see the ears of my butterfly? They're like way down. They look like cat ears coming off the bottom down there. All right, let's go ahead. So if your piece is not too, line my music notes up. So if your piece is not too big, you can definitely do this as well. I find this to be much easier, if I may be completely honest with you guys. So again, I'm pushing it in the middle with my hand, still doing my technique of going out to the side. Honestly, if you guys weren't watching, I would have just did this with the first piece as well. Measured it, cut it, pulled the backing off and stuck it down, and then applied it. So you do you, right? You gotta do what's best for you. The best way is what feels right for you. All right, let's get this butterfly down. I am so excited. I will say that is the beauty of working with a design that has a distressed look to it, because who's gonna know if it was supposed to be that way, you know, or not, right? It's called creative control and creative license. Done. I'm gonna bend any little pieces over the edge. So one of the really cool things, like I say, is that you can overlap, meaning that, or overlay, I should say, so that it kind of like steps down because this edge has got these little grooves on the end. Totally groovy. Love that. Wow, that looks so good. Holy smokes. Look, guys, we just did this together. Isn't it beautiful? And even though this table, you know, is wonky in its own way, the fact that we've given it some paint, a new look on the top, it just gives it a polished edge, right? It's rustic, but it's also very beautiful, and it just has a sense of being refreshed. So after you've done any distressing that you want, if you want, your transfer is down nice and snug. Make sure you dust again before we do this next step. So next up, we're going to go ahead and add banana peel, which is our rich, glossy polyacrylic top coat. I'm choosing the glossy. We also have a matte as well, which would look gorgeous on here. But at the moment, I'm kind of obsessed with glossy poly right now. So I'm going to go ahead, stir this up really, really well, and then put it on over the top of my piece. You want to make sure that your piece is, you know, again, dusted, that your transfer is pressed down nice and tightly and makes contact with your painted piece just the way you want it. And then this will be like a shell out over the top of it. Think about like bananas. They have a outer coating, right? The banana peel that protects the actual banana. This is a coating that protects your actual painted piece. So it'll suck in your wood, but also leave a nice outside coat as well, like a turtle shell. This brush is so soft and beautiful to lay down your paint and poly. I like to keep one for my paint and one for my poly. That way when you're polying, you know, if you use it previously for painting, you don't have any of the pigments coming down and then turning your poly a color that maybe you don't want it to be. So keep one for each and keep one in each in good condition for each of those jobs. So let's go ahead and apply our poly. We're going to want to do long strokes. We're going to want to do 2 coats, and we're going to want to keep it moving. So that way it sets up properly and it has a chance to do what it wants to do. Don't forget to get your edges as well. Long strokes with this beautiful brush. Take your time, get your edges. Slow and steady wins the race. Do you see a difference? I went all the way around with my poly, and now I'm just going to make sure that this is dried. It looks a little bit wet right now, so I'm going to not do anything with this until this dries completely. Then I will add on my second coat and I will be done. And I put her on the other side of this chair. I moved my bunch of flowers over here. I thought this would match up really nice with it. So just changing some things around. I do love to shop my own house to move things around. You will never find things in the same position. But here is how it looks. So we got our beautiful flowers to brighten it up. I think that looks really, really good. What do you guys think? I'm pretty darn happy with that. And we are done. I love that project. I love how it turned out. I'm so glad that we took it, that we got it for, I don't even remember. I think I paid like $7 to $10 for that piece. It is absolutely gorgeous. No, I did not take it home and it was absolutely perfect, in great shape. It's warped a little bit, you know, but it's beautiful, but it's still perfect. It's perfect for me. It's perfect for the space, and it was the perfect project. So yeah, hopefully you got some inspiration, you're getting some ideas, and maybe there's something that you've already painted and now you're like, I think I want to take it one step further. So have fun with some furniture transfers. It's so fun getting creative. Thank you guys for hanging out with me here on this beautiful evening, and I will see you guys again really, really soon. If you enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to my channel, giving me a thumbs up, and of course, leave me a comment below because I love hearing from you guys. All right, see you again very, very soon. Bye.